Greetings and welcome to Ethio-Digest. Thank you for joining us. My name is Demasisai and I will be your host. In our endeavor to shed light on the people's struggle for freedom, we found it obligatory and a delight to present to the English-speaking world and the international community an English translation of the entire proclamation of Fano unity. Thank you for joining us and thank you for staying tuned. A declaration regarding the forming of the Amhara Fano National Movement, January 17, 2026. Today, on January 17, 2026, we have made an historic decision that will shut down the cracks where the source of the lifeline and air supply of the Prosperity Party originate from. A party that's destabilizing Ethiopia and the region. Shouldering our obligation to carry out a mission worthy of the sacrifices of our fallen comrades and heroes, we, the leaders of Amhara Fano organizations, have ironed out our differences. Differences that extended Abiy Ahmed's time in power. In our endeavor to unite the struggle of the Amharas that required courage, openness, determination, and the trust of the people, we, the leaders of the Amhara Fano National Forces and the Amhara Fano People's Organization, have made the unity of Fano a reality. To all Amharas and to all Ethiopians, congratulations. To all of us, congratulations. We have appointed one leader and we have formed one organization. Now, the new chapter that will get us to our strategic objective is wide open and the ball is in our hands. Like many civilizations in history, the glorious heritage of the Amharas and Ethiopians have perpetuated for ages without being interrupted by any sort of hurdles. But now, especially since the Middle Ages, they are being challenged by generational wars caused by a clash of different civilizations. The perpetuating campaigns against the Amharas in our modern history, aided and abetted by our internal weaknesses, has created an unrepresentative system that has subjected the nation to instability and the danger of breaking up, and has threatened the very survival of the people. It has taken a lot to come to a consensus in understanding the complexity and the danger directed at the people and the nation, which is led and orchestrated by our own Ethiopian agents and collaborators. And by failing to comprehend the grave contradicting and adversary stance and narrative directed against them and the country, the Amharas have found themselves stripped of their land, stateless, and the targets of government-led genocide. Obviously, Amharas are on the verge of extinction. To reverse this existential threat and to secure the people's interest and to build a new civilization, we are engaged in the new Amhara revolution. Even though the cause of the initial popular public outrage has been the existential threat the people are facing, this struggle has additionally crafted a grand vision that is founded on the people's aspirations of their rightful place on the local, regional, and international level. The self-hating culture and approach of the new Amhara elite, the indifference and the self-imposed exclusion from the political discourse by the people, the intention to be completely dependent, and the gambling with people's lives, the emergence of a political community that lacks confidence, and the coming to power of a detrimental elite group that is preventing Amharas from organizing, has subjected us to be exposed to being extinct as people. by rising up as people to avoid the danger of extinction. We have reclaimed the rights we went without for decades, to organize ourselves in what we believe is right. Thus, we are able to be engaged in a struggle to ensure our survival as people. The bringing back of the thought process that was kept at bay to the center of our political discourse, along with organizing initiatives and tasks carried out across our communities, have positioned this struggle on a solid ground. The virtual decadence within our society has slowed down the journey of our movement and has challenged the struggle in achieving a strategic victory. Our enemies have always challenged our unity by sowing division within our communities. But these circumstances have stirred remorseful and yet morally challenging emotions in the new generation. And the generation has heroically stepped up to the plate and has been victorious. By doing away with internal divisions and replacing them with national unity, it has built on the momentum and has established a unified organization. The victories we achieved that were filled with extraordinary sacrifices in our recent history, without being united and without being under a single command, have enabled us to reduce the regime to a mere insurgent in Arat Kilo, by decimating the sole guarantor of its power, its defense forces. The struggle the movement led without a central command, that made it continually evolve and change its tactics, has exhausted the regime's ability to revive. We have made the regime's generals abandon their duty as commanders of the army, and have turned them into relentless chatterboxes running their mouths. Since the first phase of the struggle has been concluded in victory, and the regime's army is in shambles, and since Fano is obligated to grow into replacing the army and to exact organized political leadership, several attempts have transpired in creating a single Fano organization. Even though the level of growth within the movement was a contributing factor, existing internal and external adversarial narratives, along with infiltrators from different interest groups, and the venomous arms of the enemy have been the existing fundamental challenges. We stepped up to the plate and stood against these hurdles, and on this blessed day we have cut the ribbon of unity, and Fano has emerged as a single united movement. Once again, congratulations to all of us. Armed with this organizational unity, the struggle of the Amharas has defeated the pre-existing corrupt, self-hating, and disruptive and divisive narratives and alliances. By doing away with these reactionary alliances, it has utilized the virtual national awakening to defy failure and cross the swamp. It has delivered an answer to the very question the people and the army found within themselves. It has rectified the wrongful perceptions and debunked the conspiracy theories on the unity of Amharas. The formation of the Amhara Fano National Movement, AFNM, today is achieved by rectifying the mistakes that surfaced during our previous attempts, and by filling the existing gaps, and by ensuring and conducting an inclusive participatory process, and by building a trust amongst all the stakeholders. The coming together of this organization is founded on the unity of strategy and principle. Therefore, our organization's ideology is Amhara nationalism, which will begin with the winning of the current struggle for survival, and which would be our guiding principle that will continually ensure the people's right to life, identity, and interest. By efficiently building its capacity and by guaranteeing our people's right to life, their rights and their interests in a united national democratic consortium, and by building a system that honors and incorporates the rights of all individuals, Amhara nationalism will diligently struggle to bring about and realize the continuity of the nation in a lasting, inclusive, peaceful and just system. After an in-depth and comprehensive political discussions that lasted for several days, the process of forming the organization that primarily embraced and encouraged civility and courtesy has closed many chapters. The process that began by the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding has successfully concluded by unanimously ratifying the founding document, bylaws, and appointing its top leadership. Accordingly, it has assigned the following positions. Arbenya Zemmene Kase, Chairman of the Amhara Fano National Movement. Arbenya Meketao Mamo, First Deputy Chairman. Arbenya Habte Olde, Deputy Chairman for Military Affairs. Arbenya Henok Adise, Deputy Chairman for Political Affairs. In addition, the Amhara Fano National Movement assigned leaders to the following directorates. Military Commander, Brigadier General Teferra Mamo. Deputy Military Commander, Arbenya Mirre Odajo. Deputy Commander for Military Administration, Arbenya Zinabu Lingero. Military Training Directorate, Arbenya Samuel Baledil. Special Military Campaign, Arbenya Dirsan Brahane. Military Campaign Directorate, Arbenya Bayu Alabacho. Political Directorate, Arbenya Geta Asrada. Organizational Directorate, Arbenya Mentesnot Wondafarao. Organization Office, Arbenya Aschalo Belleta. Public Relations, Arbenya Asras Mare Damte. Public Administration Directorate, Arbenya Zemmene Mehret. Finance and Procurement Administration, Arbenya Shagre Baye. Policy and Strategy Directorate, Arbenya Skender Nega. Partnership and Cooperation Directorate, Arbenya Abbebe Fentau. Foreign Affairs Directorate, Arbenya Brook Slashy. On this historic day, the Amhara Fano National Movement would like to send the following messages. Message to our organization's armed forces. For the struggle you are paying heavily to bear fruit and secure our ultimate victory, your persistent demand for organizational unity has been resolved, and the unity of Fano is declared. By utilizing the momentum we achieved after this good news to further build our capacity, we call on you to advance this struggle with courage and determination, while reminding you to continue to approach all existing internal organizational challenges by utilizing the capacity acquired by the new generation in a democratic and disciplined manner. We urge you to create a conducive atmosphere and fully cooperate to implement the structural and procedural changes that are to occur after such a merger. We want to remind members at every tier and level within the organization to always be ready to tackle all upcoming missions. 2. Message to our people. Until now, our people, who are the backbone of this struggle, have persistently called for unity of Fano in our discourses. We want to once again declare that that call was answered. And by taking ownership of the struggle, our people who patiently carried out their heroic and patriotic duties should consider each local's objective reality and should incorporate the strength achieved through this unity and should continue to reinforce and advance the struggle by organizing each community. Message to the Amhara diaspora. We have observed that the Amhara diaspora across the globe, that at the beginning was fully involved in advancing the struggle, has recently diminished its participation and enthusiasm due to the lack of clarity in unity and outlook, due to interferences, and due to our inability to unite. Nonetheless, the complete union of Fano and the establishment and formation of a single organization that all our Fano forces, our people, and the overwhelming diaspora communities were longing for has been realized. While we want to congratulate you on this, in this joint endeavor going forward, for you to deliver on what is expected of you. We want to suggest that you take the initiative to bring about organizational unity and fully cooperate and implement the forthcoming directives of the organization. Message to the people and the groups aligned and struggling against the regime. Given the current state of our nation, we do not believe there is an ethnic group or a community that has not been a subject of crimes against humanity. Everyone's life is endangered, and Ethiopia is at the edge of a cliff. Therefore, the struggle of Fano has incorporated the decisive and vital solution to defend the right to life of all Amharas and all Ethiopians. The victory of the Amhara is a victory to the Gurage, the Tigrayan, the Oromo, the Gumuz, the Afar, the Somali, the Wolaita, the Sidama, the Gamo, and other peoples as well. Thus, all political groups and elites should join hands and fight for a common cause and destiny. Being a bystander will only subject us to take turns in being targets of destruction. Abiy is a loose cannon on the Horn of Africa. He is attacking everyone, and everyone is bleeding. He has brought instability to everyone in the region. Therefore, removing the genocidal and tyrannical regime of Abiy Ahmed should not be left to just Ethiopians. All the regional forces must come together and bring this to a reality. Cooperating and aligning in this venture to end this regime and stabilize the region would be the right thing to do. The people of the region need peace and progress, and they deserve it. Though the regime's divide and rule scheme has worked for a brief period, we find it imperative to build on a consensus to end the regime by building on the unity of Fano and by utilizing the very agreement to further coordinate the struggle. We are asserting our call for the struggle to essentially change from a mere defensive nature and status to a beginning of a strategic offensive. Number 5. Message to the international community. Since its ascension to power 8 years ago, it is a well-known fact that the Prosperity Party led by Abiy Ahmed has subjected the people to countless deaths and destruction. And this perpetual war has brought humanitarian crisis, economic devastation, and societal chaos and disintegration. This entity that is essentially adversary to the people can neither learn from its mistakes nor is credible. The danger of war and the instability the war-mongering regime has posed is not confined to the nation, but has created havoc across the region. For the last 30 months, the genocidal war declared by the regime against the Amhara people and the prevailing danger of extinction that left us with no other alternative but to preemptively defuse the campaign has reasoned and persuaded Fano forces to fight for the people's mere survival. In addition to Fano, other anti-government national forces are also engaged in this people-centric movement to save their populations from becoming extinct. We believe that the international community would be rightfully concerned and justified about removing this existential threat, in ensuring the well-being of the people, and in avoiding protracted regional wars. We therefore find it imperative to call upon your cooperation in denying the destructive capability of this criminal Prosperity Party, by stopping the support it is getting and by applying the necessary pressure. We call upon you to support the alliances between Fano and other movements to an extent possible. And for our part, we want to assure you that we will do everything necessary in this endeavor. Message to the uniformed forces and the militia. You are well aware of the fact that the regime's power did not originate from the people and is kept alive by your sweat and blood. You are also aware of the other fact that the regime wouldn't give a penny's worth to your lives, as long as it stays in power. Our fight is to build an Ethiopia where all Ethiopians are respected, and an Ethiopia where the armed forces will engage in a venture where their sacrifices will have purpose and meaning. We urge you to understand that your death and suffering now is for a regime with insatiable appetite for human blood, and to also urge you to stop fighting for this regime and join the Fano movement. For our part, we have never been this ready to welcome you with open arms. Amhara Fano National Movement has the highest honor and regard for all who work diligently towards the establishment of this organization, especially to the entire Amhara people and all Ethiopian compatriots. We are obliged for your continual support and advice, counsel and criticism. Your diligence has produced this unity. To all Fano members, we thank you for your remarkable comradeship and civility in your persistent quest for unity. Without your continual challenges, some of us could have lost our strength and will. Your consistent challenge and your blood and sweat have given birth to this unity. To all leaders of the two organizations, you deserve the highest possible gratitude, especially for the leadership and decisiveness you displayed in this uniting experience, and especially the members of the two technical committees of the two organizations who expedited the process. The leadership qualities you displayed, your wisdom, and your ability to come up with solutions in this endeavor were remarkable. To the honorable elders who observed and monitored the process, we thank the 7-member committee led by Prince Asfa Wasan Asrata Kasa, and included Ambassador Brahana Maskal Nagga and Major Dawit Wolde Georgis, and others, who kept their neutrality and who never failed to advise and provide solutions by working closely with the technical committee. And finally, to overcome these challenges and be victorious, we are making this historic call to all the aforementioned stakeholders and to everyone else to play a constructive role by continually strengthening the movement and by pledging to sacrifice no less than the heavy toll we paid on the journey to give birth to this organization. Amhara Fano National Movement, AFNM, January 17th, 2026, Amhara, Ethiopia. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our presentation for the day. Thank you for joining us, and we wish you the best of times.